Hey friends, I have been doing a lot of talking lately about iodine. As you know, it's one of those first steps that my holistic doctor, placed me on for treating cancer. And so I honestly really didn't understand why, and I'm a huge why person, and I love learning and researching about health. And so here's some of the things that I've found. Culturally, we're very iodine deficient. And you'll notice it by some of these symptoms that I'm going to kind of read off from them. These are iodine deficient symptoms. Cysts on the endocrine glands, like the thyroid, the breast, the prostate, ovaries, stuff like that. Endocrine gland cancers, brain fog, exhaustion, weight gain. How many of us, as we go premenopausal or menopausal, start gaining weight? Thyroid diseases, think goiters, the thick swelled neck, hypothyroidism, autoimmune thyroid or Hashimoto's, thyroid cancers, etc. Low IQ, hormonal issues, fertility issues, miscarriages, stillbirths. How much fertility issues do friends around us deal with? Menstrual issues, PMS, excessive bleeding, diabetes, fibromyalgia, depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep. Who's that? I mean, I think almost everyone deals with sleep issues. Low body temperature, weak bones, think osteoporosis, weak muscles, weak ligaments, think hypermobility. So those are just some of the symptoms that I found that are related to low iodine levels within your body. Iodine is an element that we need. It's essential to our body, and yet our soils become depleted. It's been taken out of like our bread. And fortunately, they have created iodized salt, but that has been proven to, by the time you open that container, the iodine that has been placed in there has been dissolved into the air. So from factory creation in the factory to the time you start using it, it's been depleted. Not only that, the iodized salt has been so heavily processed, it's really not good for our bodies. So iodine, we need to get it in our systems. So how we do that is, it looks like, from what I'm finding, according to Dr. Brownstein, we need to gradually work up to it, to higher levels of iodine. And if you prefer, you can find a holistic doctor that tests for this, that's iodine literate. They need to test, or they can test, to see if your body is low in iodine and get you a more accurate way of starting with this therapy. However, if you're one that likes to experiment on your own, then he recommends starting with 12.5 milligrams of iodine. And you can find that in the capsule form of the Iodoral. And then each week add another 12.5 until you get to 50 milligrams. And from there, you stand there for a week, and then from there you move back down to the 25 milligrams level. So unless some people find that they still need to stay on that higher dose longer, and that's totally okay. But sometimes people experience detox. Can't talk. So, because what's happening is the iodine is detoxing our body from bromine. And it also detoxes from heavy metals. It's been known to detox lead, arsenic, mercury. So pretty major heavy metals, but it's not been consistent in everyone. So that's dependent on your body and the way your body handles the iodine. But what is consistent is we have a bromine toxicity issue. Bromine is in our cosmetics, it's in flame retardants, it's in pesticides. So go back to flame retardants. Flame retardants are like placed in baby clothing, baby toys, mattresses, couches, furniture, carpet, all those things that they don't want to go up in flames. They try to protect us, but it's actually off-gassing this bromine, and which is toxic to our bodies. It blocks our bodies from, it blocks the endocrine receptors so that they no longer properly deal with our hormone levels. They no longer properly, well, they start developing cysts and all of that. So, as you're detoxing from iodine, it's important to know you may need to lower your dose or take a pause for 48 hours if you're experiencing any of these symptoms. I'm again going to read them because it's a long list of things you could experience. But bromine comes from the Greek word of bromos, which means stench. You could start to stink. So if you have a spouse, it's a little bit easier if you go through this with your spouse, because then you're both stinky at the same time. So don't worry if you start to stink, because bromine stinks. You could experience more exhaustion. Some people term it as lethargy, just really, really exhausted. Depression, really deep, dark thoughts. Depression, it's cleaning out your brain, it's cleaning out the receptors there, and so you should eventually be free from this, but you may go through a short period of very deep depressed thoughts. Anxiety, rapid heartbeat. If you're on thyroid meds, you discuss with your doctor, because you may need to lower those thyroid meds. So you might want to work with them, get tested, stuff like that with your thyroid, just because you may start feeling like speedy inside, or like your heart's racing. And so this may be totally resolved just by lowering your dosage. Acne, rash, runny nose, kind of a crazy symptom, but sinus issues, runny nose. So aches and pains. Remember, I said iodine deficiency can be involved in weak muscles and ligaments. So you may experience some aches and pains as you're detoxing this element. Enhanced exhaustion or lethargy. I guess I already said that. Brain fog. You may get some diarrhea or constipation. This is common when you're detoxing. Your body wants to expel it, wants to get rid of it, or sometimes it holds on to it. Make sure that you're pooping, because you've got to get this out of your system. And so do what it takes to be pooping. Frequent urination and dark urine. And how many of these symptoms have I experienced as I've been doing the iodine loading process? Most of them. I've definitely needed to lower my thyroid medications. I have definitely gotten more of the acne and rashes and aches and pains, the complete exhaustion, the lethargy. It's barely being able to hold up my head. But keep in mind, I had dealt with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue for a long time. So it's almost as if my body is going back and further cleaning out these issues. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the health on the other side of it. When things get too rough, then I back off. I take a break. And I also have my son and my husband on iodine right now, and I tell them the same thing. If they're experiencing any of these, then back off. But there are some supplements that you can do to take it. One of the most beneficial I've found is salt loading. So you take like a half teaspoon of salt in warm water, like 6 ounces of warm water, and you drink that, and then you drink a bunch more water after that. That salt seems to pull out the bromine more effectively. It's like easier on the kidneys. It's just really quick relief. It really, really helps. I know it's kind of crazy thinking to drink salt, but actually a lot of health experts, holistic health experts, talk about drinking salt. You want the refined salt. You want either Celtic salt or real salt and or Himalayan salt. You don't want the refined. You want the unrefined. So another thing that's really helped is sweating. The sauna, exercise, both of those have been game changers for me. And niacin, you want the flushing niacin. It's they recommend 500 milligrams twice a day. However, that's a lot of niacin, and niacin can be hard to take. Niacin gives you this flushing feeling. It turns you red. I feel like it's like a tingly feeling, and it makes you hot and cold all at the same time. Kind of like the feeling of getting a sunburn. You know, you kind of feel hot and cold. My husband says that it burns, and maybe that's the difference between him and I with a sunburn reaction, just because of my darker skin tone and his lighter skin tone. I don't know, but each of us feel different with the niacin flush, but it is recommended because it helps pull the bromine out of those endocrine receptors and helps just clean that out. My husband likes taking it at nighttime, and it helps him sleep like a baby. It's very refreshing it helps him get a very, very refreshed sleep. I prefer taking it in the morning and then doing a sauna afterwards. I know that my body just needs that extra help in detoxification. If some people take it when they get home from work, and then a couple hours later they'll do the sauna that way, and then they're just ready for bed after that. Whatever's experiment, play with it, see what works for your body the best. Magnesium, 300 to 600 milligrams. Selenium, 200 micrograms. Now this selenium seems to be optional. It's absolutely necessary if you have Hashimoto's. But according to what I understand, in Michigan, we have plenty of selenium in our soil. Now, other states are different. Other states need more selenium. And so play with it. See if it helps. And then vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams 3 times a day. And that's a definite one that I also take every day. So I hope that helps. I am absolutely loving the iodine. I believe that it's taking my health to the next level. And from what I can tell, from what I understand, iodine disrupts any tumors. It dissolves them or disintegrates them, and it doesn't allow them to grow. And so iodine is absolutely necessary for those endocrine type cancers and for your health. So I hope you give it a try, or at least seek out an iodine knowledgeable doctor in the area. I know Dr. Brownstein is in Detroit, Michigan. He's very knowledgeable, and my doctor, Dr. Nebling, is in Lansing, Michigan, and he's very knowledgeable. So those are 2 holistic doctors in Michigan who are very knowledgeable about the whole iodine process. So there's some great resources, my testimony of how it's working for me, and as of right now, I plan on being on iodine long term, and because I've already seen a big difference in my thyroid health, I believe it's working for the cancer. I can notice that I just feel like it's cleaning me out. So there's my testimony. I hope it helps you. I hope you experiment and see if it works for you, see if it makes a difference, because we've got to be our own advocate, our own health advocate. We've got to take ourselves to that next level in our health. So have a beautiful day.